I know, but it's not just that. It's a topic that's important because they had a.
Now you're freaking me out because you're telling us we can't tell sometimes.
It's like I know, but that's the thing is it should not be assault.
We're live on the air. Right?
I know we're live on air.
Good deal.
Listen, this is how the podcast works. If we're talking about something really interesting, and you guys have not shut up since you guys came in here late, by the way. I said noon. Like Dawson and I only have a show to put together. Then we're gonna keep talking. People are pretty curious about our thoughts on if you get tricked by transvestite.
I got here in time to eat 14 wings before the show, so I think we got here in plenty.
Yeah, no,
right?
Jake's scaring all of us, telling us we're very shortly we won't be able to tell, and I'm like, I don't want to live in that world.
I'm just saying they're getting better. It's like Hollywood makeup artists or something, and like really good plastic surgeons. There's advancements. But anyhow, Tuschy was the one that brought up the subject. Welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose transgenders. No, I'm just kidding. We expose corrupt politicians and the lying Uniparty and the corporate media. How do you like that, Jay? The Uniparty. Sounds right.
If you went by actions and results, it'd be pretty darn hard to tell them apart some days.
That's what we do. You have to actually analyze what you see, and what you see is a Uniparty. And that's what the subject is going to be today. We got Jay Duggan from Rocks and Cows, Minnesota. By the way, just in case somebody watching the show doesn't know what Rocks and Cows means, to explain to people the origins of that great name.
Governor Walz had his Mitt Romney moment. Mitt got caught on secret donor campaign video saying 47% of the population he writes off because they accept some type of welfare program, and they beat him up over that. And Tim Walz had his just a few years later. While he was pitching his original gubernatorial race. He was probably tongue-in-cheek, but he told the donors who maybe had a little reservations that Minnesota on the map, red-wise, if you break it down by precincts, there's only a little blue dot around the metro and a couple college towns.
Right.
And he told the donors not to worry because where the blue dots are is where all the people are, and the rest of all that red, I think is, I've tried to paraphrase, so I don't know it exactly, but all that red out there, that's mostly Rocks and Cows.
Yeah, most of Rocks and Cows, which...
So we kind of wear it as
seems a little insulting.
Should be a badge of honor. Yeah. Greater Minnesota is a great place.
It is. And that's why it's called Greater Minnesota. I was corrected because, being a ring of the suburbs, I like to think in Stillwater we're just outside the cities, but are we really? I don't know.
Minnesota's only here because we have farmland, trees.
Well, Stillwater's the first town, so that's why we're here. Stillwater.
Yeah, a lumber
town.
Yeah.
We have this thing called the boom site, which is where all the logs came down and formed this. It's like a big bay area on the St. Croix. St. Croix is awesome because where it comes in Stillwater, it's enormous. It looks like the Mississippi River.
Yeah, giant lake.
But you don't go that far north, and it's like a small, really awesome river. Really awesome river.
Yeah, no.
Actually, it sucks. Don't ever go canoeing and kayaking there. It's the worst ever. I saw, Jay, we went on a canoe trip last summer, and I saw people masked in kayaks.
What?
Yep.
That's as bad as driving.
Someone said that it could have been the Canadians' wildfires, but I don't know. I feel like they feared COVID. I think they're that cultist that feared COVID.
You still see it every now and then at the store, and you wonder, is that guy got allergies or is he a nut job?
Or both. Joining us, reading your comments at home, Mr. Liberty Longbeard with his ginormous wing order there.
Wait, reading comments at home?
No, reading your comments at home. Oh. No, they're at home. I hope I said that right. Who do we got joining today, Tuschy? Do your job, damn it.
Who do I have joining today?
Bunch of wings.
Well, that's a good question. Jay, can you clarify for us the pronunciation of your last name? Because there's many different pronunciations.
I go by Duggan, but...
Is it really? I've always said it wrong.
A lot of people say Duggan.
It's probably because of me. I always say Duggan. I did not know that.
That is a fact that a lot of people say Duggan, and that's how Jake introduced you. That's why I was...
It's essentially black and Gaelic, so...
Getting to the bottom of it here.
My apologies today. Well, this is the Truth Hurts. Mm-hmm. So, ouch, that one hurt. I got it wrong. Running the dials is normal, Mr. Deep State himself. Dawson, how you doing there, Deep State?
I'm doing good. I'm having a great time. I'm eating these wings. I want to challenge Tuschy to an eat-off someday with just chicken wings. I'm so I think I could beat him. I
That
think I
would
could
be
probably
the
do it.
easiest bet in the world. My
So
money be on
what time's
Paul.
the show Tuesday?
Every
Is that
day
what
and
we're gonna
twice
do?
on
1 o'clock
Sunday.
Tuesday, me and Dawson.
Yeah, we'll do that.
chicken
I
wing
mean,
eat up.
Dawson, that's a really dumb idea for you. I don't know who's switching if you're doing a wings contest.
Which is why I
We'll
got
have to
here at
pre-record it.
12:30.
Jake, as a Chicago Bears fan, is familiar with Allery's, I'm sure, in St. Paul.
Yep.
I was the
Classy joint.
2019 Allery's chicken wing eating contest champion, and I won in the first round.
Yeah. COVID actually was awful for you because all the chicken wing contests went away.
I know.
All right, can you read a comment or two? The people spend their time, they
Yep.
type in a comment, they want you to read it, and
I'm
you're
still
just
trying to
eating
get
wings.
logged into I'm on the Truth Hurts, but I can't find the video.
Well, then
So let's
turn
see what's on the
around,
screen here.
jeez.
All right. Well, jeez. Mining 2, Tucker says. All right, there we go. You heard it here, Mining 2. Tushy looks like he's at home, haha.
I want to say hi, Carol.
Yep, Carol says hi to Jay. That's good. Carol's a true...
Hey, who's reading the comments here, me or Jay?
well, you're not doing a good job at it.
How about the hottest wing instead, Dawson?
I love hot wings. I'd be so down.
I don't know if you know what you're getting yourself into. If you want to comment on Rumble, we'll be reading the comment section. Maybe get to YouTube, but Rumble's the best place to make the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. We couldn't do the show with our great sponsors, Alpine Cabinetry and East St. Cloud. Warren Wessel, my good friend Warren Wessel. You know Warren Wessel, don't you, Liberty?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, Warren Wessel of Warren Wessel Realty. If you're buying a home, you're selling a home, give my good friend Warren Wessel a call. Where's my sheet? Oh crap, we had a set change yesterday.
It's in your left drawer, I think.
There we go.
Yep.
Warren, I should know your number by now. He's on speed dial. 612-419-7453. If you're buying a home or selling a home, give Warren Wessel a call. I don't know why I can't remember that number. And if you're buying a home, they're good friends, John Galt Mortgage Company. Do you know the Chermak brothers? You got to know
Oh,
at
yeah,
least.
absolutely.
But have you met them?
Yeah,
Tim
absolutely.
goes back to Ron Paul
Oh,
days.
yeah,
with us.
absolutely.
Yeah, so they started with a couple companies. But what's so funny?
I just heard the Tuschy. What did you just crunch on?
Celery.
Oh, that was crisp.
Yeah,
That's
I was a
not
little
good.
worried there was a bone as well. Is that what you thought?
I was scared. Yeah.
Maybe you need those boneless wings. Give the good guys, Tim and his brother Andrew, a call. Or not a call. Go to their website. They're young guys. Don't call them. Who calls people these days, right?
Yeah, no.
You can call me.
Go buy a house with Warren and let him finance
If you're
it for you.
if you want to finance a home, go to johngaltmortgage.com. All right, there we go. I do believe in our sponsors, by the way. It just sucks that you have to do ad reads, because I want to get into it with you guys since you guys were running so
Hey,
close
the world
to
we're
showtime.
in, people should know who the other good folks are out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
We shouldn't be ashamed of it. If you support Action for Liberty, you should give Jake a few bucks to support the movement, and he should let people know that you're out there. We want to know who our friends are.
Well, we've always kind of seen eye to eye on a lot of things, Jay. Well, you guys popped up during COVID, right? If I'm remembering this right?
Yeah, when Chris and Lee, the guys at Shady's, were the first bar and restaurant, and you knew them well.
I didn't know Shady's. I chatted with them once.
Well, they were the first ones. Keith
were the
Ellison
they
threatened
did the
to
one in
sue
May. Yeah.
if they didn't stay shut
Right.
down. And our friends Jonathan and Paula in St. Cloud realized that it was they were catching some fire. And people were also wore that badge of honor, the Rocks and Cows. That Walls, rural Minnesota didn't have COVID at the time, and he shut it all down to please the metro. One size fits all.
Right.
People were mad, and my friend Jonathan, who ended up starting Rocks and Cows, and I ended up melding the politics with it, he started raising money to put up more of those billboards and use the hashtag, and we realized that it kind of stuck. Also, the electoral map was how you even got the name. You got a red, greater Minnesota, and
Right.
4 or 5 blue dots, and we just thought at the time, you know what, maybe all the people who think like that should stick together, because obviously the metro doesn't give a hoot about them. So
Tuschy.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
That's your cue.
Oh, Tuschy, yeah, you got to rumble, right? You got to read those.
Oh, well, there, let me see. I got it on my phone here, but I was trying not to click on it and have it
Cheers
start
to K-Wall, by the way.
lighting up here. See what I mean?
Now what do you do?
So-
oh my God.
That's why I wasn't.
This is what happens when you show up right before the show and just go to the wings.
Celery cleanses the palate between sauce changes. That is a true statement. I had here Thai curry and spicy garlic.
I apologize to the audience here, which the show is for. It's for you guys. Unfortunately, Tuschy comes and it just takes over. You know, I guess it's a show for Tuschy these
Well,
days.
and now I
They
know
love
why
me.
he told me to show up at 12:30, so he'd
Did he?
have a
I
half
told
hour
him noon.
and so he'd have a half hour head start on the wings all by himself.
No, he did not. He showed up after 12:30.
Oh wow!
And I thought the outrage would be that the wings are cold, and turns out the outrage really was, Dawson doesn't have an easy job. He's a one guy trying to put together a show and produce it. And, I kind of like to go over show notes, which we did not. Well, there's no show prep, Brad.
Yeah, there's
I'll
not.
refund your $5. No show prep here. I don't even know what we're talking about today. By the way, if you want to interrupt us anytime, hit the Rumble rant. And then we'll read. Well, hopefully, Tuschy will read your comments. I don't know. Maybe you'll get to them.
Yeah,
Bleeding
I mean-
Aluminum says, "Nice." What does he say? Now I can't read that. Nice head rag, Rom. Let's
Yeah.
go. By the way, nice head rag. I like that.
Thank you.
You like him?
It's a
Is
Rom
that-
rag, yeah.
Rom rag.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're right when you say Dawson does not have an easy job. I've always wondered this, how, and when watching from home, it's like it goes to Dawson in the control room and he's eating a wing. It's like he's somehow putting himself on the show, I imagine, right? While eating a wing. That's not easy.
It's
gotta-
not.
he's gotta
I've started
sustain
just getting
himself.
used to people being late, and that's how we run it. And it works.
Okay. Well, we are 10 minutes in the show and we haven't even discussed any politics. So should we get to politics? Is that
Has
a good
Trump been
idea?
convicted yet? Have we heard? Or
No,
there-
we are monitoring that. No
news
Well,
flashes.
let's start with that because that was my first thing on the agenda. Because you don't know. We didn't know if something would be coming down. The jury deliberated yesterday, got instructions, questionable instructions from Judge Merchant. I guess the way I look at this, Jay, is if they hand down a judgment today or the jury's, done deliberating, I don't think it's going to be good for Trump. It's my sense. Is that not your sense?
Yeah, you'd think if there's going to be a holdout for a hung jury that they're going to beat it to death, and the judge is going to have to instruct the jury, try and force them
Right.
to come to a ruling. So yeah, if they come back real quick, they're probably all agreed he did something.
Because, I
Anything.
can't imagine full acquittal. Now, here's my question. Is there at least one, Trump can't do wrong, MAGA-loving person on a Manhattan jury?
We'll know the minute that the judge has been told that they're in an impasse and he tries to force them.
Yeah.
Threatens them to keep them all weekend if they don't come to a decision. Now we'll know. There's one guy telling them to pound sand.
I mean, there probably shouldn't be a guy like that on the thing, right?
I mean, you get a pool of people. You get a chance to remove these people from the jury pool. But in the end of the day, it's somewhat random still.
It's hard to tell.
So it's so Manhattan is overwhelmingly Democratic.
like
But
85%, something like
but
that.
yeah, so 85%. So what's 85% of 12? Well, it's 10 at least, right?
Yeah.
So that gives us a chance at least 2 jurors could be big Trump supporters. Could be. Don't know. Could be.
I'd just be
And it
happy
only
if
takes
they're-
one to hold up a jury.
Yeah, just one.
Okay, so this is part of the problem with it. If you guys, we'll get into some Minnesota news here that I think, obviously we're just saying what everyone else is saying these days. Like everyone's talking about the Trump trial. Maybe we have a unique perspective. I don't know. Okay. But the one problem I have with this Trump trial is I don't know the evidence. You don't know the evidence. All we have to rely on is the court reporters from the mainstream media telling us what was said because it's not televised. I think that's a pretty damn important thing. They would televise something like this, and we don't know. So we just have to go with the mainstream media's court reporters, which are a bunch of lawyers.
As much of a circus as it's become, can we at least agree at this point that even if he does get convicted after a long, drawn-out process, as long as, they obviously aren't going to put him in jail and make him a martyr, but he gets convicted with an appeal scheduled, of course, after the election, right?
Yeah.
Does that really change anything? You know what I mean? Electoral.
The polls have not changed. The polls are flat.
So
since
it's
the trial
either going to
began.
be the Democrats will probably be happy it's over with at that point, and we go back to the status quo race we have. And if he gets acquitted or hung jury, that's just good for him, right?
Yes, I mean, anything but conviction is good for Trump, and I could make the argument even conviction is not going to be the end of the day, right? End of the story. Because I think, and I saw a poll, more people think he's guilty or probably guilty than the opposite. and many people probably think he probably did have sex with Stormy Daniels. By the way, not what's on trial here, but still the basis of what's on trial.
But does anybody care how that affects the issues they're thinking about?
Exactly.
I mean,
I think honestly they think of him as no one says Trump is this like great ethical moral leader.
I think that there's a lot of people that probably say that.
No,
I mean, Donald Trump says that they didn't have sex, and Stormy Daniels said they did. So who are you going to believe? The fake blonde with the big tits or Stormy Daniels?
Usually the fake blonde with the big tits would be my thing, but
see what I did there?
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now he gets it. There it is.
I already had my comment joke to that and missed your second part.
See,
I didn't
for those of you who want to use this for the next week as it's in the news and you're around the water cooler at work or whatever, I can give the punchline again. Who are you going to believe?
Bill Clinton had an intern in a blue dress.
Or Stormy Daniels.
And
there you go. You're welcome.
Interrupted your joke.
When you're at
we're
HR,
hurting you here.
when you're in HR for telling that joke, remember, Liberty Longbeard sent you.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot says studs on the show today.
Oh.
Apparently he doesn't have good eyesight. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Now Trump is not the first politician to be in trouble with the law. And I did send Dawson a very short video of a time that. Freddie Quimby, Mayor Freddie Quimby's nephew, was accused of a crime he didn't.
Are you aware of this video?
No.
Oh, check your email.
Okay.
It's
this is why you show up for show prep. You just told him, "Oh, I sent you a video." And he says, "I'm like the Dawson did."
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
and,
this is what comes up.
Freddie
Did Marion Barry get reelected even after getting caught smoking crack?
Absolutely.
The governor of Washington, or the mayor of Washington, D.C., got caught smoking crack with hookers and was reelected to mayor like a one cycle later or something.
What happened to that Canadian guy that was like
Bill Clinton with the blue dress and the intern?
The blue dress.
Cruised to reelection.
That's right.
This one
and
that
you're
Tuschy
thinking
sent
Rob
me.
Ford. What's that?
This one that Tuschy sent me. I've actually seen this.
Yeah. Let's pull that up. It's this is another
just
politician.
Pull it up, Dawson.
It's another politician.
I'm just a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Tuschy Hurts.
We don't all vote the same way. We'll be deadlocked and have to be sequestered in the Springfield Palace Hotel.
That's not gonna happen, Homer. Let's vote. My liver is failing.
Where we'll get a free room, free food, free swimming pool, free HBO, ooh, free Willie.
Justice is not a frivolous thing, Simpson. It has little, if anything, to do with the disobedient whale. Now let's vote.
Now the rest of you voting.
Guilty.
Okay, fine. How many S's in innocent? I'm only doing what I think is right. I believe Freddie Quimby should walk out of here a free hotel.
So, as you can see, there is precedent.
There's
for,
hope. There's hope.
There's precedent for if a politician is wrongfully accused of a crime, that
well, the Simpsons.
We have one juror on there to stand his ground.
Unbelievable. Are you gonna read some comments here? We got a ton of comments.
Yeah, I got.
By the way, if you really want a comment read today, I think now more than ever you're gonna have to do a Rumble rant. I know that sounds like a shameless plug there, a shameful plug. Shameless, shameful, very shameful plug. But I just don't see Tuschy catching your comments.
No, it'd put him back on task.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
There are 2 lawyers on the jury, says Brad Ganser. Oh, this one. Let's read this one again. Studs on the show today, Beaver, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Well, that deserved a second reading. All right, we got
the lovely T-Wall. Let's read T-Wall's comment here. Big supporter of the show.
Oh, they need DNA evidence for me to believe it. No, he said, she said.
Yep, no blue dress.
There you go.
I mean, I think most people feel like Trump is no great moral, ethical leader. In fact, his biggest supporters are like, this guy, despite his flaws, is the one guy. It's like that. What's the flawed hero that we need? And actually, I think that's actually a very valid point. The more I learn and get involved in politics, the more I realize that it's a shiny unicorn, this perfect candidate that we're gonna get. You need somebody right on the issues. You got to have someone that's principled and courage, but you're probably not going to get that person that's got their family life figured out. The books look good. Never tell a lie. You know, I still hope for that, but I'm just saying I don't see that happen. Honest to God, the more you look at it, these guys are almost all crooks. And now, with that being said, it seems like if Trump was actually a crook, They would not be stretching these like laws. Like I don't know if people understand this. What they're convicting him of, or trying to convict him of, is that he falsified a private business's books. By the way, not a publicly traded company, a private business's books to conceal an actual crime, and the crime that they're concealing was a misdemeanor. But because he's concealing, falsifying business records, that's a felony. That's what they're going. They are making shit up to go after this guy. I mean, how many times has that actually been a case against anyone ever?
I think that was the jury instructions, wasn't it? Even if you think he jaywalked, where he's guilty.
No, but you're not completely correct on it, but you're close. It's that it doesn't all have to be the same crime. So 4 jurors could say it's this crime, 4 jurors could say it's the campaign finance crime, and 4 jurors could say it's a different crime. So they have a list of crimes, that misdemeanors, by the way, that could have been committed. They don't have to agree that it was all to falsify a record for the campaign finance. Did I get something wrong, Dawson? Why is Dawson leaving?
That sounds about right.
That's
They said something so wrong and coming in to beat you up.
no. What did Tushy's mic go out? What's going on?
Chairs.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, there you go. Oh, we had a set change there. Did you rock? Are you rocking your seat too much? Apparently.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, so I think that there is a good chance that there's even if he's convicted, which by the way, there's 34 counts and they're all the same count. It's like what do they call that? First degree falsifying business records. It's all 34 counts. So even if they find him guilty, I don't think it's going to make a huge impact on the election. And actually, I like what you're saying. If they put him in jail, it's probably going to make him into a martyr and might actually help him in some regards.
Well, his appeal would be heard right away, which could totally blow up on them. So he gets an appeal, and they let him out a week later, and he says, look at that. The judges just said everything was a sham, and I went to jail for nothing.
But hold on. He's appealing. Isn't he going to appeal to the New York
Appeals Court.
Is it the Supreme Court? I don't think the
Supreme Court's hearing his case. They're backwards in New York.
Yeah, they are backwards.
Supreme Court and then to the Appeals Court.
Oh, so
if they threaten to jail him, I imagine he could go straight to the U.S. Supreme Court.
I have no idea.
For some constitutional issues. Who knows what?
No. Okay, let's get into more Minnesota-based news here. So this is pull up the story on truthhurtsnews.com. I was on a little hiatus last week, so not a lot of articles there. Sorry, guys. Billy22 says Trump is Batman. It seems like it these days. So, breaking story from last night. Democrat chair calls for burglar senator to resign after she already voted on the into-session legislation. The jumbo bill. By the way, I left and I was on a backpacking trip on this SHT with my old man. My dad still backpacks with me. It's awesome. So I missed this. I thought it was a 2,800-page bill, but I've heard both 1,440 and 2,800.
1,400 pages, double-sided.
Double-sided. That's a 2,800-page bill.
Yeah.
I like how right. Like, why are you saying 1,440? They're still saying 1,440. That is a 2,800-page bill.
I think that was the paper count, but another legislator pointed out it's double-sided.
It's double-sided. Okay, so that was kind of my sense. So 2,800. So basically, let's round up to 3,000-page bill. Clearly, Jay, not all the same subject. Dropped on the desk of legislators within 30 minutes of the end of the session, and you shall vote on it. And this person, this burglar who victimized an elderly woman with Alzheimer's, is voting on that legislation, which includes criminal code. Like, for instance, what do they call it? Strengthening the straw purchasing laws on the books. This person did this. Now, no Democrats called for her resignation until after she voted on that stuff. And right now, it's only Ken Martin from what I'm tracking.
It'll be everybody. I think Paul's the political math genius. He's told me her district is predominantly blue. Are they going to want to waste $300,000? Now they don't need her anymore.
Right.
Why waste a whole pile of money? They'll pick another purple-haired kook to replace her.
Anyway,
you know what? They got to have lesbian former newscasters just all over Woodbury.
Lesbian?
Pick another one.
Wait. Do you have a story here? What's going on?
No, I just told that she's got a significant other that's a female, and
Where did you hear this?
and they're adopting children. Her online social media.
By the way, your mic's up high. Is his audio coming through well?
It's coming in, but you can
Yeah,
lower
Is
it.
that better?
See, you got to kind of aim it towards your mouth a little bit more. There you go.
Okay.
Jay.
No, just
hold on. I'm
checking
not
out
aware
her
of this
social.
story.
Just checking out her social media. Well, we know she's a state senator.
Allegedly. No.
Well, we know. Well,
She's allegedly a burglar.
Currently, she's a state senator. I guess she used the military to help pay for her college. But she ended up staying in after getting her degree. So she's also an officer in the Wisconsin.
She is a lieutenant colonel.
Yeah, in the Wisconsin National Guard.
Is it Wisconsin? Oh,
They
well,
do.
that makes sense.
So
I was
she does
asking another old
some
five I know in the Air
meteorology.
Guard if he knew her, and I guess that's why.
And her social media said that she went to while she was doing work in Georgia, she went to law school and did complete law school. I think we were discussing, we don't know if she practices law, but so she's an officer in the military, a lawyer, and a state senator, and
a meteorologist.
crawls into her stepmother, and a meteorologist, a TV personality.
Well, a lot of us knew her
Crawls
from
into her stepmom's
KSTP.
house.
She used to be KSTP's. I don't know what. I think this was during Dave Dahl's time, so she wasn't the lead meteorologist.
I don't
So
know. It beats me. It's just my personal opinion with all the stuff she's got going on. She does a lot of charity volunteer work. She fosters children. She's adopted a couple.
So
She seems like a person. She's searching for a purpose. I think she's got a hole in her heart. There's something not right with her.
well, clearly, I mean, you don't burglarize your
Your own fam.
stepmother who's elderly with Alzheimer's. What's up, Tuschy?
Well, I did point this out when the couple days after the story broke, when I was on that Tuesday program, that if there's one thing we are to learn from this is that our legislators are grossly underpaid in Minnesota. I mean, if you have to burglarize a home to maybe steal a laptop and a phone, to use two-factor authentication to swipe money from your, dead father's estate or your stepmom, we got to think about increasing legislator pay. And now they took that ability away from the legislators. Now it's a special panel that does it. So is there anything we can do about that to get our legislators paid more?
I don't know. We should advocate for that, right? All right, go
I
ahead.
look at
wanna know
this.
what's on
Go
the
ahead and read some
laptop.
comments.
Look at this,
there, Tuschy.
Brad Ganser. Where is this? All right, let's do this on this phone here. All right.
Do you like the job to earn
Yeah.
those wings as you read the comments?
All right. Brad Ganser says, Tuschy, don't eat the dang microphone. Wings says, Brad Ganser, don't tell me what to do.
Wait. This Wings is some anonymous person?
Well, I'm just reading the comments here.
Okay, but I know, but it seems a little fishy that he said, don't tell me what to do.
That's a good point you bring up there.
I don't
All
know.
right, now let's read someone that's clearly not you, Bill Dingsfeld.
Bill Dingsfeld says, is Mitchell a real lesbian or a fake lesbian like a certain other DFL senator?
What are you talking
Now,
about? No.
wait a minute. Bill's confused. I mean, just because you're not a gold star lesbian doesn't mean that you're a fake lesbian. And that is really not a fair thing to say.
Which you'd asked, Ken Martin did call for a resignation, but I think there were earlier cracks in the caucus. Senator Wiesenberg had brought up a bill, and another Democrat, it was allowing you to keep a beaver trapped or caught out of season. And another senator, Pat, wanted to, I think they put it into law in the 3,000-page omnibus bill, that it is illegal now to keep and eat beaver.
Oh, that did pass?
That could have been under the current attack on Senator Mitchell from her own caucus.
Oh, my God. Well, this show is stooped so low already.
I wanted to bring up over the Memorial Day weekend, I went home to Detroit Lakes for just to see my family and stuff.
Yep.
And it's probably the biggest story to come out of Detroit Lakes in years and years, because everybody had like something interesting to say about it. Like everybody knows the stepmom, and the stepmom's just like this.
And their
sweet
senator-
Well,
There's
hold
a
on.
Democrat, too.
She's like loved or what?
Yeah, everybody in Detroit Lakes loves her. She's like, I think that I learned that my grandma goes to yoga with her. So it was like, it's just Detroit Lakes is like 8,000 people or something. So everybody knows everybody, and everybody loves.
I love how
stepmom.
you think 8,000 is so small that everybody knows everybody. Like Rocks and Cal's territory, there's some small towns.
There's some good
I grew up
people
in Wisconsin, like Tuschy. There's something called unincorporated in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah. And villages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up Well, before first grade, I lived in a town that had only 400 people.
Oh, my grandparents farmed in Bernadette, Minnesota. Population 7.
Wow.
Well,
I went to-
Doubt was from Crown, population unknown, right?
Spectacle Lake population.
Oh, wait, yeah, he lived in Spectacle Lake.
Well, I graduated from high school in a town of 626 people, but I know last time I looked at the sign, it was like 590 something, but that was before the last census, so I don't know what we're at now over there. But yeah, I mean, 8,000 is.
That's not that small. All right, so
16
everyone
times
knows
that.
her. She's loved in the community. What other gossip did you pick up? I mean, I can't believe you can tell me this is like breaking news here.
Dawson, did you live in Detroit Lakes in 2021? Specifically April 15th through May 17th of 2021?
Wait, door knocking campaign?
No, I was at college at that point.
We hit a few doors up there, a
yeah.
few being about 10,000
Tens of
or
thousands.
so.
By the way, so you were hired by Extra for Liberty at the time to do the door knocking, campaigns. See, now I slipped down some wings beforehand. I cannot believe you're just. Are you done with both those Monster Energies?
No, just 1.5.
Oh my God. Hopefully the show doesn't go long. So you were hired to do the door knocking campaign. Started in -30 in Hinckley. So
In
folks-
Hibbing.
Yeah, Hibbing, sorry.
Yep.
Hinckley. Why did I say Hinckley? So it was focused on 6 con artist Democrats. These are the Democrats who were voting the right way to get rid of Walz's emergency powers, and then flip-flopped and did a 180 and voted the exact opposite way, protecting Governor Walz in January 2021.
The minute their vote counted, they all hightailed it back to the cult.
That's right, the Uniparty. And how does it feel, because it's the first time I've talked to you about it, how does it feel now to know all 6 will not be in the legislature? Because we just got news, Dave Lislegard, the last holdout from Aurora, Minnesota, is not seeking re-election. I think he sees the writing on the wall. He's not going to get elected. How's that feel? That was the last of the 6 con artists, and they're all gone.
It feels pretty good.
All right, you got it from Tuschy. It feels pretty good. All right, moving on to the next subject here today.
Hey, we all owe you a favor for doing that.
Me?
The pressure stayed on from the minute those started going into doors. The pressure stayed on, and the Uniparty eventually tossed them all overboard.
Do you know what the Republican establishment says about us? They only attack Republicans. They only attack Republicans. It's like, I think those 6 con artist Democrats would disagree with that one.
It's a real shame that we weren't here early enough for show prep today, because if we would have thought about this, we could have had that clip from, I don't remember which committee meeting it was, but everybody was via Zoom, and it was when they weren't at the Capitol, so we couldn't reach them in person. They wouldn't answer their phones, they wouldn't answer the emails, and in the case of Sanstead, Lislegard, and Pulowski, they wouldn't answer their doors the times I went there.
The times you went there.
Lislegard was going off on this in this committee, and it was a legislative Zoom, from the Minnesota House. He's just yelling about this crazy lunatics that are coming to my house. I'm like, I only went there twice, I think. And then Kurt Doubt is the next guy to speak, and he said, yes, Action for Liberty. They're so terrible. They're there, Lislegard. You guys remember that?
F12. Go to F12. I just found the article because
Nice.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was thinking about that this
What a
morning.
great video that was. I was so proud. I said, I only went to the guy's house twice. What was he complaining about?
I forgot that you were talking. This is on actionforliberty.com. It's Rep. What was the title? Go back up real quick. Rep. Lislegard calls you whack job, accuses people of intimidating legislators. This is February 1st of 2021. Go ahead and let's click on that.
Will that bring me there?
Yep, that'll do it.
Oh, nice.
Weeks ago. And he brought up a case about why the emergency powers we just needed to get rid of them. And I was honest with him there, and I'll be honest with you today. I don't think all the emergency powers can be eliminated. And I won't do the all or nothing. Do I believe that the governor should have all saying power? Heck no. That's why I'm here, and that's why I want to mix it up. I want to mix it up with the commissioners, saying how are they making these decisions? Because we do have to have a voice. And I want to be at the table with all of us. And I just heard our chair say that we are going to be bringing things forward. I am going to be working with Representative Haley on her bill. But it's not going to be all or nothing. And I'm not going to support stripping everything away just
which
to
he did.
appease
Stop. Stop. Okay, and that was just getting good, but I can't let this go unchecked. First of all, yes, you can. You voted, 6 or 7 times beforehand to get rid of Walz's emergency powers.
All
These
of them,
con artists, these are the lying sacks of shit that dupe so many voters. I can't believe it.
But to be fair, that was just to get reelected.
Yes, to get reelected. Well, actually, he did once after election. He did in the December vote, too.
Yes. Sanstead didn't, but maybe he did.
He did. Yeah, he voted
until the new people were seated.
Until the
their
new
vote
people were
counted,
seated.
He voted with us.
This fucking con artist. But it pisses
Pulowski
me off.
and
These guys, they
Sondheim.
just lie through their teeth. Oh, we never vote for all their emergency powers. You only did it like 6 or 7 times before. You con artist. Okay. Second of all, you know what he's referring to? He's because we have to go back. This is like 3+ years ago. He's referring to this committee, and it was like a bipartisan committee to determine what to do with emergency powers by a governor. Now, meanwhile, this is almost a year into Governor Walz unilaterally declaring himself king, emperor of Minnesota, shutting down businesses, locking you in your homes, and thank God we stopped it. Probably would have instituted vaccine mandates in Minnesota. And now, like a year later, we're like, well, let's start a task force in the legislature to just see what we should do with emergency powers. Guess what? We predicted from day one. It's a fraudulent task force. They're not going to come up with any solutions. They only do it to pretend like they're doing. That's why the politicians do task force. They pretend like they're solving an issue. They're not going to do anything with it. And by the way, we called it dead on. They did jack shit about it.
No, and Barb Haley, his Republican counterpart,
former legislator Barb Haley.
She's gone too.
Yep.
She's gone too.
She's gone. All right. Now, this is where he gets into dissing Action for Liberty people. And now that I remember, yeah, he's probably mostly referring to you, Tuschy. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Well, he was watching a football game one time that I went there.
There you go.
And I had been came down the other side of the street, knocking on the doors, telling people, your legislator, has betrayed you because he switched his vote right after the election. And they said, oh, he lives right over there across the street, as if I didn't know. So then I make my way down there, and I come down the other side of the street, and you could see in his window, he's got a big football game on TV, and I knock on the door, the dogs start barking. I'm like, I think he's on the couch there. Nobody comes to the door, so after 20 seconds or so, the dog stopped barking, so gave it another knock, and the dog started barking again, but he never came to the door. And so he ignored my calls, he ignored my emails, he ignored my knocks on his door. How do you reach these legislators? And
they weren't at the Capitol, and even if they're at the Capitol, it was forbidden for you to go inside the Capitol, right? Remember this? Yep. They literally had a fence around the damn Capitol. And they want to accuse us of crossing a line, knocking. By the way, when elections happen in October, November, don't they come knocking on our door to earn votes and talk to us? Oh, it's a one-way street with these assholes. All right, go ahead. Let's play this clip.
They act like the courts have not affirmed that petitioning the government for redress of grievance is not a First Amendment protected activity.
Yeah, that's nowhere in the Constitution. All right, go ahead, play this.
Far-right whack jobs that are trying to intimidate people on this committee. It's not going to happen. It's not who I am. We're going to go through this process, and we're going to try to figure it out together. And I know you're candid. I'm candid. And I would love to have the conversation. I'd like to go side by side with you so we can do this together.
He's an angry elf.
Representative Doubt.
Now watch Doubt. No, let's keep playing because Doubt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Stop real quick. Pause. This.
Is that in his house in Crown? I'm trying to think. Is that
definitely
is that Crown?
Yep. Okay. This clearly straight legislator here, Kurt Doubt. He actually comes and defends Liz Lagarde.
Oh, he sticks up.
He sticks up for Liz Lagarde and comes after us. Watch this. Like, if you just don't believe that there's a uniparty, like this is like one of the greatest evidence ever. This is the minority leader in the Minnesota House, the top Republican. We are going door knocking to stop these legislators from voting to protect the governor's illegal COVID shutdown orders, and the lead Republican sympathizes with Dave Liz Lagarde, the Democrat. Go ahead, play this.
Members, I always love when this moment happens where you kind of spend a whole bunch of time, talking about nothing, and then somebody gets frustrated and they just say what they want to say. And while it might seem uncomfortable or whatever, it's actually good because it gets everybody's feelings out there, and we can just talk about how we all feel this needs to move forward. I want to address Representative Sanstead first. We have heard of the stuff that's going on, these crazy whack jobs showing up outside of members' homes, trying to intimidate them. This has no place in our state or in our government. And the people who run these organizations are fraudsters. These are not legitimate organizations. They exist for the purpose of raising money and only for that purpose. The people who frankly run them should be publicized and run out of the state. They're literally in this to make money. And the tactics they use are unacceptable. For somebody to show up outside of somebody's house and try to intimidate a lawmaker into changing their vote on something
we can't
is absolutely
we
unacceptable.
can't tell them
I
to
will
vote
speak out as
differently. I
loudly.
can't even stand this. By the way, it's
And
so
but
funny.
where's all the money at? There should be more wings if you're getting rich off this.
I know. I think it's funny. He goes, "Oh, they only fundraise. They only do this to rich themselves." Like, but
This is a big
didn't
scam.
you just say that they are door? And by the way, guess what we told our donors we were going to do? We're going to take this money and we're going to support these field operatives who are door knocking and pressuring legislators. Last I checked, that's exactly what we did. You confirmed we did it.
There are six
Oh my God.
6 legislators, 10,000 doors per district. We're going to double knock some of them. We're going to do 60,000 doors. We need some funds. Well, these guys are just a bunch of grifters. They're not doing anything.
They're not doing.
and
they're attack Republicans.
And they're showing up at 60,000 doors, and that's unacceptable that they're doing that because they don't do anything.
They don't do anything.
It worked. Mike Sundin went
That's,
into hiding after that.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. We probably made it living hell for him. Tuschy.
Yep.
Frequented many taverns in his district,
Yes.
spreading the information around. But
Yes, I said
Tuschy, to his own credit, I'm not trying to throw him down for going to the taverns. Apparently, that was the best place to get in front of his community.
There's a lot of patriots in Moose Lake and Cloquet that you probably need to meet on a bar stool.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I don't want to fall. I mean, like, I don't go to too many taverns these days. I got little kids, right?
Right.
But I frequented my taverns over my years, and I'll probably frequent them again when the kids are out of the house.
There are some fantastic drinking establishments in both Moose Lake and Cloquet that had flyers on the bar. Mike Sundin betrayed you. And they let us put them on the tables, on the bar, and everything. So, that was definitely worth the effort. In fact, one of the owners and / bartender at a tavern said, yeah, Sundin always comes in here all the time with no mask. And this was during the time when masks were required. You had to wear them in the door, and then when you sit down, you can take it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I put these flyers there? I go, oh, that's Sundin. He comes in here all the time with no mask, just walks right in. And I said, well, where's your mask? You're voting to protect these things that require all this bullshit. And they shut down my game room and et cetera, et cetera. What are you doing in here walking in like this? Oh, it's just politics, he said. And then he ended up getting so much pressure, he didn't run again. Imagine that.
Yeah, it was great. K-Wall says, the more I learn about Minnesota politics, the more disgusted by it I am. Razzle Dazzle says, did I miss the background story on my inquiry? Just joined. Razzle Dazzle, I know what you're talking about. I am hunting down the story, and I can't make it public, and I was hoping to get it. I was hoping to get the story on today, okay? And it's not so. It's not. We're not constrained so much by time on this one. Boy, I hope I can get the story. I'm working on a big story. It's a big story, in my opinion.
Dot your I's and cross your T's. Slander lawyers are expensive, right?
Yeah. Well, that's true, and I think we have a journalistic responsibility to get original sources. But in this case, it has to be the person willing to talk about it. But we're working on stories. So Razzle Dazzle, I'm on it, man. I'm on it. Okay, I can lead a horse to the water. Okay, I could do that. But in this case, there's another reason we couldn't get this story today. You'll understand it if I get the story next week. I'm trying to get that story. I hope I get it for you guys, because you guys are going to really be interested in that. More Uniparty corruption, just so you know. All right, let's talk about the HRCC. I briefly talked about this on the show on Tuesday. And by the way, if you want to join us for our post-show, which will be starting probably 15, 20, 30 minutes, the post-show only for subscribers, $8 a month subscribers, Truth Hurts. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Don't worry about it. If you want to join us, go to Rumble and click join, and that's how you subscribe. What's so funny? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Screwed up, Dawson?
No, I'm laughing at my camera work because it's good.
Okay. So, I think Dawson really enjoys having you here, by the way. Well, everyone does. The audience does, too. I just wish you were here for show prep.
It's because I get wings sometimes.
I'll let it go. So join us, and we'll have I'll tell you this, we'll have a colorful post show today. Okay. All right. So the next story: HRC supports non-endorsed candidates. This story coming from actionforliberty.com. Storyline is crony HRCC fundraising against its endorsed Republican candidates. The House Republican Campaign Committee has announced via email they will host a fundraiser for 3 Republican incumbents who lost the Republican Party endorsement for re-election. These representatives include Greg Davids, Brian Johnson, and Ron Kreischa. All 3 currently represent solid Republican districts. Many Republican Party leaders were told that the HRCC would not support candidates not supported by the party. The organization has become notorious for spending tens of thousands of dollars against conservatives in years past. By the way, in 2018, Tuschy, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they spend like $30,000 against Eric Mortensen, who at the time was the Republican endorsed candidate? Something like $30,000.
It was at least that much. I thought it was more, but yeah.
Representative Davids, a 16-term legislator, lost the party endorsement to Gary Stewart, a longtime Republican activist. That's the furthest southern district, like Houston,
Far
Minnesota.
southeastern Minnesota.
Yep. Great area, by the way. Oh, love that area. Representative Johnson lost endorsement to Isani Mayor Jimmy Gordon, and that one wasn't even close. It was 80-20.
First ballot.
Jimmy
wiped him
Gordon,
out.
first ballot was like 79.6%. And then in Ron Kreischa's race, neither candidate was able to secure the Republican endorsement. His opponent is Diane Webb Skillings, a local activist, conservative activist. I met her, actually. She came to one of our events. Lovely
she's
woman.
Smart. She's educated.
Lovely.
She's been working her butt off.
I like her a
long
lot.
before
Yep.
she even thought about running for office.
There you go. According to the email, the event will take place in St. Paul last night. This was last night. Guests are encouraged to donate $250. Okay, so just so you understand, they put out a email
to the lobbyists,
and special interests and probably Twin Cities donors to come to an event to support these candidates, and 2 of which were refuted by their activists and did not get the endorsement. Another candidate got the endorsement. Now, here's why this is such a big issue. The HRCC, the House Republican Campaign Committee, is a sub-political party unit of the Republican Party of Minnesota. So you literally have a party unit of the Republican Party.
They're essentially
going against their endorsements.
They're essentially a BPOU for the House reps.
Yes. And they get all, and by the way, they get all the beautiful luxuries of being a political party in Minnesota. If you want to see where the campaign finance laws are tilted against us and in favor of the party, the establishment, it's because they have these political party units.
You can donate to HRCC in that program where you get your $50 back.
$75 now, right?
$75
bucks, $150 for a married couple.
So they're collecting.
They can work directly with candidates. They don't have certain caps. They could do independent expenditures. They could do so much. No caps on how much you could donate to them. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing they've got there. What's going on?
So you can give up to $75 per individual and then get a refund for the $75 and it costs you nothing?
That's correct, Tuschy.
Wow.
If you were to give one of these candidates who we mentioned that got endorsed or maybe didn't get endorsed, but neither one got endorsed, yes, you could give them $75. I see what he did there.
So the HRCC has got this event fundraising for Rhino Ron.
Explain the shirt here. What do we got?
But you're saying that we, the people, might choose to go to Rhino Ron's opponent's website, Diane with one N, number 4, mnhouse.com, and could donate $75 and get that $75 back. That would be a good way to fight back at the HRCC and old Rhino Ron, wouldn't it?
Now, this guy's riding a rhinoceros. So this guy is not a Republican by vote, but by name only. Is that what we're asserting here?
He pushes the green button when it's required to show which side of the line you're on. But when he opens his mouth, any original idea he ever has, if you had never met him, known him, or come from another state, you would go, who gave that Democrat the microphone?
I'm a little jealous. I got to say, those shirts look pretty awesome.
Oh, my favorite is the rainbow in the background.
Yes, they
are. We
Very
were just
colorful.
talking about that. Rhino Ron was more than happy, as the Republican leader of the Education Committee, to jump right in with Representative Feist from the Democrats, and he had high praise for her bill to supply with Minnesota taxpayer money tampons for boys' bathrooms in schools. He just thought the Democrats went a little too far mandating the actual dispenser machines in the bathrooms. If the schools could just hand them out the way they chose, he would have been more That would have been more to his liking. But he thought it was very brave of her to come forward with tampons for boys' bathrooms.
And
he is pretty
that's
close
for boys
with,
that menstruate, right?
He is
Just so we get
close
it right.
with Representative Feist. Of course, she was signed on as a co-author to his bill HF 2409 in 2021, which provided $5 million of our tax dollars.
This is the
for
reddest district in Minnesota, which
This is the
contains
biggest.
our military base.
We do. Yes,
No Democrat opponent
Camp
last
Ripley.
time, actually.
Please, you got a rumble rant. You got to get
Rumble rant,
See,
okay.
That's the only way we
$20
recognize right now.
$20 for Jake to put on a Rhino Ron shirt. I love it. Well, guess what? I did bring in my Rhino
Oh my
Retire
gosh, look
Rhino
at
Ron
that.
tote bag here. I did bring a Retire
I have
Rhino
my
Ron
Rhino
shirt
Ron shirt,
for
dude.
Jake.
Wait, medium? Not anymore. What? Do I
So-
get the tote bag too, or is that not?
You can
How
have,
much?
I got a,
how
I got
much
plenty
swag
of
do you
them. There
have?
you go.
Hey, can we give this? Oh, can we give this away? Like,
Oh yeah.
Truth Hurts. Like, maybe for one of our lucky subscribers, we'll get one of these. What are we thinking?
Oh yeah, we gotta spread the Rhino Ron love around.
Yeah, comment your love for Rhino Ron's opponent, Diane Webb Skillings, and you might win a
Oh,
free
someone's actually
Rhino
got the
Ron,
website up there.
Oh, look at that. Love Minnesota. Diane for mnhouse.com/donate.
All right, so and you guys have seen the front of this shirt. Here's what the back looks like. What's it say there, Tuschy?
Oh.
Give us a.
It says Retire
description.
Rhino Ron.
Oops, I gotta go this way. Did you remember that video where that guy got in my face?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was trying to pick a fight with me, which would have been kind of fun to have happened, but
You
know.
didn't ask a lot. You asked him to sign a bill against vaccine
sign
mandates.
a pledge not to
Oppose
sign
vaccine mandates.
Yes, to be against vaccine mandates. And what does he do? He flips out and like gets in my face and starts
Oh,
playing about something.
Gosh,
I had no idea what he was talking
I
about.
thought he was going to have a meltdown.
Well,
I
because
thought he was gonna. I thought he might swing.
opposing
I was just
vaccine
like, come
mandates
on,
is a
swing,
Republican
go.
position, and he's not a real Republican. So,
Yes, that'd
you
be
know.
that's
That would
the
be like
rhino part.
asking him to not vote for the resolution that condemned January 6th as a violent insurrection that overthrew the government and said that Trump was wrong and that the elections were fair and honest. You know,
That's right.
He'd say, "I can't do that. I'm not a real Republican." No, he'd say, "I'm a real Republican," and then he'd run away. I got better things to do.
My last straw was two parents from his own local BPOU were wanted to run for school board to get the politics and the kooky stuff that we talk about, like tampon discussions, out of schools. Two Republicans from his own hometown in his BPOU running for school board, and he ended up campaigning, essentially online, editorializing to reelect the Education Minnesota Democrats back to the school board in his own hometown.
I think the most important thing, though, when discussing Rhino Ron is what is his position on eating beaver?
I don't know. We'll have to check.
Because we know his senator's position. We don't.
yeah.
We need him. We need him weighing in on that.
He must be against it. He voted for the omnibus bill.
Yeah. All right. I'll. Why don't I give away the swag to somebody in the post show? Okay, we'll do that in the post show. That makes good.
Okay.
If you want a official, I put you on the spot here, but you can part ways with the tote bag. Is that
How about
okay?
this? If
What do you want me to do?
If we get more love for Diane up here on the Rhino Ron's opponent, Diane, we can give one away on the regular show and one away on the
Wait,
post show.
is this from her campaign?
No, this is
It's like a.
this is a Retire Rhino Ron swag.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna
But
say.
I got a few more of them in the other room, so we can give one away on this show and one post show.
There you go.
If we see the love for Ron's opponent.
All
And
right.
this at the state convention, the GOP state convention, there was a sergeant at arms. He didn't like the back of my shirt when I was always standing in front of crowds, and he wanted me to move. But to be fair, his wife does work for the HRCC, which is supporting Rhino Ron. So
Razzle Dazzle has to take a nap. We're not entertaining him enough. I guess Tuschy didn't bring his A game in here.
Oh,
very
come
good
on.
question here. I think this is a new person. I lost it. What
Failed
was it?
candidate.
Because you were actually at this convention. Someone's asking about Walter Hudson
yeah,
endorsing.
I see that. And
Go
Bill
ahead, read
Dangsfeld says fake lesbian again, but. Yeah, we can get to that too, but yeah.
Okay,
didn't
Joanne
Walter-
332. What does it say?
Joanne 332. Didn't Walter Hudson endorse Rhino Ron? Is Walter establishment? Well, I did touch on this right on, I think it was April 22nd or 23rd on that Tuesday show. I'm not sure that Walter actually endorsed Rhino Ron, but he did show up to support him. It was interesting because, as we know, Walter's a dynamic speaker, very passionate, very articulate, can even on the fly. We've seen it at many events over. I've known the guy since like 2010, and even at the fair booth, wherever people are engaging him at our fair booth, and somebody asks him a question or tries to catch him on something, and bam, that sharp mind works so quickly to come up with very succinct arguments and make the case. So he was asked to make the case for Rhino Ron. Apparently Ron asked him to come up there. So when he got on stage, it was the least passionate speech I've ever heard from him. And he didn't make a very good case. So it's like, that's how hard it is, I guess, to make the case for Ron. But I don't recall Representative Hudson ever saying that he endorsed Ron or he fully supported Ron or Ron's a great guy. He basically said, I was asked to be here by Ron, and Ron, he's been in there, and when you get in the legislature, well, then you don't even know where the bathroom is or where the coffee maker is, and so Ron, he took me to the bathroom. And I'm not telling you what to do with your joke. I'm like thinking, he took you to the bathroom.
That's literally what he said. You're not making a joke here?
Yeah, that's basically what he said. He said, I'm not telling you guys how to vote. I'm not telling you what to do. But Ron was there for me and showed me where the bathroom was. And then the closest
Wait. You just said something different there. Did he show him where the bathroom was, or did he take him to the bathroom? What did he say?
It was, yeah, exactly. It was, it was something like that. It was one of those, anyway, he showed him where the bathroom was. And then, but then at the very end, in the last like maybe 20, 30 seconds, he got the closest to saying something supportive of him, and he said, Ron helped fight the Democrats on these things, and he's been speaking out and helping us speak out against them, and he hasn't been voting bad all year.
Oh yeah, it's easy to vote right when you're in the minority.
Yeah, like he said, it's not Ron's fault that we have this abortion policy. It's not Ron's fault that we have this this year, because they're in the minority and they're just voting against everything. But it was like Walter really is an inspirational speaker many times, but that day was not. I might be biased, not a big Rhino Ron fan, but I was not very inspired by that speech. And I don't think it was a true
Ron may have
endorsement.
made himself a few friends, but I think we are smart enough to separate friendship and politics sometimes.
Yeah.
The left doesn't get that,
Well, we posted Walter on Twitter about, why is the HRCC working against endorsed candidates? It's a very valid question. Just so you guys understand how this whole thing ties together. I mean, if you could just summarize our show for the last couple months. You have Otter Tail County grassroots conservatives, wonderful people. Like Carol Axum, I saw up in there. I'm sure there's more that aren't even commenting. Wonderful, beautiful people. What are you going to peanuts now? Look at this guy.
Cashews.
Oh, cashews? Okay.
Yeah, cashews.
All right, so the guy just keeps eating. So you have this wonderful grassroots conservatives. They get disenfranchised by David Hann because he stands by the corrupt Otter Tail County BPOU infrastructure.
Which is, 3 people?
Yeah, it's the Tommy Miracle, who's got this pledge that says you can't be a delegate unless you pledge to support endorsed candidates. So that's the big blow up, because a bunch of them did not want to they thought the process was unfair, that was corrupt, and so they supported Nathan Miller over Jordan Rasmussen. That was what the Otter Tail County thing was about, right? Now, and by the way, last I checked, Tommy Miracle is like a big booster for the Republican Party and like supports the Jobs Coalition, which is the HRCC, and them are like this. It's like, you guys just supported unendorsed candidates. You just went against the endorsement of the party. It is the most classic case of rules for thee and not for me. In fact, where the fuck is David Hann on this issue? What good are you as the chair of the Republican Party if you allow a party unit to go endorse candidates? Now, I want to, Tuschy, it's good having you on here, because there's very few guys as knowledgeable on the Liberty side of politics in Minnesota as you. Probably you are the most, right? And if you're not, I know the other guys, right? And wasn't there Nathan Raditz? Didn't he get condemned or something? Like maybe a press release out on him because as a BPOU chair, he supported Doug Wardlow. Do I have the story right? I feel like this is something
that's correct. So Nathan Raditz was I forgot about that, but good memory.
Well, this is more for than just good looks, This
was in the late spring or early summer of 2022. Nathan Raddatz had put something, just like something on Facebook or whatever, nothing big. And he was the BPOU chair of Senate District 67, which is East St. Paul. I mean, kind of a thankless job. You have a district that's, 70-30. It actually was about 75-25, and I think they made headway with him as chair, reaching new voters for the party. And so here he is doing the Lord's work, bringing new voters into the party, doing a thankless job that nobody really is, trying to get elected to, because they're not electing legislators that have pull and bring the pork home or anything like that. And he just offhandedly said, I support Doug Wardlow in some way. It's not like he was hosting major fundraisers or anything like this. And David Hand puts out a press release. You'd think that it was like an Action for Liberty smear, campaign finance smear, the way that press release came out, It's like, oh my gosh, press release that a chair is supporting an unendorsed candidate, and we call on him to resign, like anybody else wanted to be chair there at the time, And but here, speaking of endorsed candidates and David Hand putting out press releases, when, say, Taylor Rahm gets endorsed, or Royce White, or somebody like crickets. You'd think if I were chair of the MNGOP, comment if you think I should run. If I were chair of the MNGOP, and I was at the GOP convention, and Royce White got endorsed, I would put out a tweet. I put out several tweets, and I would issue a press release the next day. I'm not sure if this is factually accurate, but I'm just I think that Royce White is probably the first Black Minnesotan from either party to be nominated for U.S. Senate.
Yes.
Right? What a story. What a great press release that would make. Nah, that's not worthy of a press release. But Nathan Raddatz not supporting, Jim Schultz, or Action for Liberty getting a bogus CFB complaint against him. Oh, well, let's put out 5 press releases about this. And why? How in the world are we not putting out a press release to support our endorsed candidates? But if some, sorry, Nathan, fairly insignificant BPOU chair in East St. Paul doesn't support an endorsed candidate, that's worthy of a press release. Like, that is the stupidest thing imaginable, but no one ever accused David Hand of being a brilliant strategist. So.
No, they certainly
unless
didn't.
His job is really to keep the Uniparty in line.
Yes. Well, my thinking, and this explains a lot of the activities, whether it's like a bogus CFB complaint against Action for Liberty, or just how they do they don't even care about the endorsement. And we'll speak about Royce White in a second. It's the fact that they only care about a monopoly on center-right politics. So if there's some kind of agreement, I mean, it doesn't have to be them all laughing, smoking cigars in a back room. That's how we want to think about it. But it's just probably naturally they come to an agreement, the heads of both parties, and they realize you guys control the left and we'll control the right, and we'll tell the people this certain stuff is, we're fighting, we're bickering and all that kind of stuff. But really, in the end of the day, we're all going to still be in power, still going to be invited to the same parties. We're still going to get drunk in bathrooms and do lines of coke before the legislative session.
Sleep with each
other. And sleep around.
Yep.
We're still going to do that kind of stuff. This female senator is going to sleep with this male senator.
What?
And so this stuff's going to continue happening. That's just how it's going to go. So you guys control your little fiefdoms, but in the end of the day, this stuff is still going to happen. And sometimes you guys are going to be power, and sometimes we're going to be in power. And during elections, we're going to go and we're going to fight a little bit, and we'll be a little unfriendly at those times. But we're going to come back here when the power structure is what it is from the results of the election. But at least we're still here, still in power. That's what's happening. And I think it probably just happens naturally. I don't know if they even have to have that conversation. So that's what's going on. It's center-right monopoly. That's what the Republican establishment wants, and the Democrats want the center-left monopoly. And the only ways that you can fight against this is rising up. Now, the extremes on the left, that's bad for us when they rise up, right? You see this.
They've
like literally,
they've done it, though.
They're doing it really effectively right now. By the way, I quasi-agree with them on Palestine, but then the far left goes, yeah, Hamas, and throw up Hamas flags. Like, what are you guys talking about, you idiots? Like, literally. And the far left goes crazy, like, Occupy Wall Street. Wall Street's the problem. Yeah, I agree with you. Oh, that's why we need Marxism. Lost me on that one there, buddy. Right? If you don't like the Uniparty, do not go down that road. Right. So, but they literally, the left is doing it so well right now to the point where it's actually steering policy decisions by the White House on Free Palestine, which, by the way, I agree with them to a large degree on, hey, maybe we should stop bombing and killing little children. Maybe we could talk about that today. Maybe I'll save for the post show. on the right side where the common sense people are, the people that says, hey, none of this is even a problem if government has no money. If government has if government fits in the size of my hand, right? We're not even going to be arguing here because no one's got power. They have no money. They can't do anything. That's our side, right?
Fits in the size of your hand. I feel like there's a Jared Olsen joke in here.
No,
somewhere. What do you think?
Circles back to Rhino Ron. This year, remember the Democrats finished the session. Long ranting speeches about how the Democrats were trying, or the Republicans finished the session with long rants on how the Democrats were trying to slip in free money for illegal aliens, maybe down at the jail, to get them lawyers so they could stay in America. Tell us who wrote the bill 2 years ago.
When you're saying fits in the palm of your hand, when it refers to Rhino Ron, what are you saying?
Well, so if the Republicans this year were complaining that the Democrats were trying to slip in funding for lawyers,
holding hands, slip in.
Aliens.
I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah. 2 years ago, when the rope-a-dope, who wrote that bill 2 years ago?
Oh, you mean House File 2409, which gave $5 million for legal fees to cover to help illegals avoid deportation?
Yeah.
That was authored by Rhino Ron.
Oh, so this year was Democrats, and 2 years ago it was Rhino Ron.
Democrat Representative Feist was a co-author.
Dawson, I don't know if you saw it. They're so smooth. Like that was a setup. You know,
wings for chair.
It was hard.
All right, we got comments here. We got comments to read.
Right.
All right, go to the comments.
Wow, look at this, wings for chair. Okay, we got
wings for chair.
There's so many comments. Krisha may run as a Democrat. He has no conviction and will only vote to legislate to get reelected. That's from failed candidate. Wow. Han is a puppet. Dave's right. Brad Ganser, that AG race was slimy. There was no impression of transparency or neutrality by any member of the MNGOP. Love Minnesota says Rhino Ron is from Nebraska, not far from where Walz is from. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he runs as a Democrat after he's ousted from the House. You know who else is from Nebraska? I'll give you a clue. I'm a journalism.
Who's that?
There was a meme about Tim Walz and Rhino Ron and Minnesota reformer reporter Dina Winter.
Oh, Dina Winter? Oh, really?
All being from the same hood in Nebraska.
No kidding.
Let's see here. Sounds like Han, Walter, and Ron are all Uniparty, says Joanne 332. Brad Gant.
Did you read that Bill Dingsfin one?
Which one?
What did Jake say about drunken?
Oh, I didn't get there yet. I don't think. Liberty, is that a blue coat on the table or a giant napkin? It is neither. It is neither. It is a hooded sweatshirt in the Rhino Ron design. Look at that beauty.
Oh my
what
God.
a beautiful shirt.
Is that a giant napkin?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Let's see here. We got Hate MN was just notified that 42 MN House districts have no DFL challenger filed. We could be in real trouble this November. No DFL challenger filed. All right. Bill Dingsman says fake lesbian. Failed candidate. The economy is approaching real collapse. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot wings for chair. First call for.
Okay.
First call for
one
me.
vote.
Okay. Bill Dingsman, what did Jake say about drunken, coked up senators throwing rule books at the Senate president?
I didn't say anything about that. I don't know what he's talking about. What does Bill Dingsman know?
Well, you said something about Uniparty people covering up.
Yes, I stand by that. Yeah. They want their monopolies on center right and left.
I think
they're
so.
going to come back here.
So
same Coke parties, same drinking, be in the gallery or the retiring room, during sessions.
So I believe what this is referring to is when a senator who very strongly appeared to be under the influence of both depressants and stimulants late one evening, came up onto the floor while Senator Lucero was giving one of his hour-long offerings of various amendments, which, by the way, this was in the last week of session. They're having these 20-hour sessions, and in reference to maybe another person that Bill mentioned here, when Senator Aaron May Quaid had tweeted, we had 20-hour session today, and somebody said, oh my gosh, I hope they at least let you go get supper. And she said, no, but when Lucero gets up there to offer amendments, we just go get something to eat. So, because they know it's going to be like an hour-long thing. So, so they're going for like this 20-hour thing, and Lucero's about 45 minutes into speaking, and all of a sudden somebody comes, I think from the caucus room, shows up, walks onto the Senate floor, stumbles onto the Senate floor, some would say, takes the Mason's rule book, walks up to the president's desk and throws it at the President Bobby Joe Champion. And the gavel's pounding. We can find this on video too.
I think we showed it on the show.
And they're just pounding the gavel, and Lucero's like, "What's going on, Senator Lucero? What's going on here?" And Bobby Joe Champion, again, reference to the Uniparty here, says, "We let's calm down. We can all we have differences of opinion. Sometimes things get heated, but it's not appropriate to run up here and throw rule books at the president." It's like talking about running cover for people who are clearly not in their right mind,
right?
And possibly
I actually
influence of illegal
never thought of
narcotics.
it that way. That is an interesting. That is a hot take right there.
Nobody showed the senator tossing the book
but that
at him.
doesn't. It's not like I don't know how the switching works, Dawson, on the legislative floors. Like, do you think it's an actual person? I guess there would be a person.
I think that it has to be. I can't imagine that there's some sort of automated way
the
to
heat
do
was
it.
already on Senator Mitchell so much already. We don't want her on video throwing rule
that may or
books.
may not have been valid. But during the
I
ethics hearing,
I made that up.
During the ethics hearing, they never showed Mitchell, right? During that hearing, they would never show her on the screen, right? They'd show the panel, they'd show the lawyers, they'd show.
Well, no, she was on there with the lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, barely. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
during
but
the whole time,
she wasn't speaking. That's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
I
problem.
mean, you would show her a few times, but they just didn't want her to be caught. Seen
Yeah,
on
but I
video
think
so
it's
much.
very regimented, the angles they're doing. So
Yeah, but this
like
was,
if Dawson was doing the switch and in charge of the production, you damn right he's going to find the coked up senator throwing a rule book at
allegedly
the president.
coked up.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that said it. Or
I
Bill Dingsman
said
did.
he
Bill
appeared-
Dingsman said
Oh
it.
yeah, Bill
Sorry.
Dingsman said
There
that.
you go.
I said he appeared to be under the influence.
Well,
of
I don't know. I didn't see it.
stimulants and
Okay,
depressants.
First, I
And
didn't
by
have first-hand
stimulants,
knowledge.
I don't mean monsters here. I mean illegal narcotics.
Well, maybe we could break this down in the post show. I want to get to the last topic here, and
All
then
right.
we'll go to the. We got to do
We
the
got
post
more
show.
comments here, though.
One more comment here.
All right, let's see. Rhino Ron wrote the bill 2 years ago to give $5 million of our taxpayer dollars to give Democrat immigration lawyers to help illegals come here illegally and then avoid deportation.
Love
And then
Minnesota
failed
is in
candidate
the
says,
know.
what is a fake lesbian? All right, this has been, well.
All right, hold on. Okay. Then we're going to go to the last topic.
All right.
But is this alleging Erin McQuaid is a fake lesbian, meaning she's not an actual lesbian? Like, what are we saying here?
I believe that's what's being alleged here, and I will say I will defend her, defend Senator McQuaid. I mean, if that's what's being alleged, is that there's something called a Gold Star lesbian, which is I learned this back in 2018, early 2018.
Okay, enlighten
where
us.
A Gold Star lesbian is someone who's never been with a man before,
Oh.
and those are people who are not into men, but some lesbians are into men, and sometimes lesbians would invite men to join them or whatnot. So just if somebody were to do that, or a lesbian couple would invite a guy to join them in their home or whatever, it doesn't make them a fake lesbian if they're married, in my opinion. That's I'm going to say that. If they're but that is I think the allegation.
Welcome
here.
to Minnesota's hottest political show, where we dive into what a real lesbian is.
Yeah, three straight men arguing about
Lost me on the whole Gold Star
Interesting.
part.
Did not have that on my bingo card today. This is what you get when you bring Tuschy. I hope you guys appreciate the wisdom, not only in politics, but in
Culture. Everything you need.
yeah,
to know.
let's go with culture.
Culture.
Good one. I like that, Jay. Jay Duggan.
It's a family show.
It's good stuff to get up now that Pride Month is starting this weekend. So
Oh no, Pride Month should probably already started in mid-May,
That's
right?
right.
The
They
rainbows
toned
are
it down.
everywhere.
They toned
It's
it
already
down.
going,
Well, you
isn't
guys,
it?
this is your Pride Retire Ron shirts. Well, the last thing I wanted to cover, and then we're gonna go.
just to Dawson's comment. It was interesting 2 years ago when Bill Liskey was endorsed and Jake Cordes was running against Liskey in the primary. There was a serious discussion of whether June was Dairy Month or Pride Month, depending which if you
Dairy
like-
month.
Well, that's what Liskey said. It was Dairy Month.
It's Dairy
But
month.
Cordes had posted Happy Pride Month on several of his personal accounts. So anyway, that was a debate in that Republican primary, which Cordes, the double mask, triple vast candidate, lost like 60-40 or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Last story. This is from NPR News. Joe Frazier is the newest of politicians in Minnesota. Let's just say Republican establishment aligned. What did they say? Remember they say the Q aligned. Is that the term they use? Q adjacent. Republican establishment adjacent. Joe Frazier says primary battle looms for GOP Senator candidates Joe Frazier and Royce White. Republican Joe Frazier reversed himself Thursday and said he would run in a U.S. Senate primary, pointing to concerns with the background of the GOP endorsed candidate. Earlier in May, Republicans gave a first-round endorsement of Royce White, a podcaster and former NBA player. But since then, there have been numerous reports on questionable campaign spending during a prior White campaign and more detail coming to light about legal troubles he has faced. Frazier, a Navy veteran and businessman making his first run for office, had earlier pledged to honor the state convention endorsement. He cited the problems in White's past as justification to press ahead to an August primary. Okay, so if I'm keeping track here, Tuschy, we've got Representative Michelle Fischbach, who pledged to abide by the endorsement and then reneged on it.
Yep.
We've got Joe Tyrab in Congressional District 2, who pledged to abide by the endorsement and reneged on it. Now we've got, we'll just say Republican establishment adjacent Joe Frazier, who's now reneged on his pledge to abide by the endorsement.
I'd heard his campaign volunteers. Some of them were calling Royce White already, offering to pitch in with that campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this all happen in a few days?
It's almost as if they do not give a shit
If
about...
this is an uphill race that you need millions of dollars to communicate on, what is this? I want to, Royce White might actually provide a contrast and get us some better votes.
Well, he's getting more media than any of the other candidates.
Yeah, I got to spend $1 million to get on the primary to lose by more than,
I know. It's like it's
hell?
a thankless job. You're
Let's
running
have a
against
real
Amy
race.
Klobuchar.
Let Royce give us a real race.
Yeah. Although I think he does have to answer some of these campaign finance stuff, but I think the guy can at least give him a chance to discuss it. In fact, we'll bring him on the show. Hopefully next week we'll bring him on the show. Anyhow, so once again, establishment doesn't really give a shit about endorsements, except for in Otter Tail County. Isn't that interesting? Couldn't be bothered with endorsements and pledges, except for the pledge they created to keep the grassroots out of Otter Tail County. What do you got? What?
Oh, boy. I don't even know
What?
if we're allowed to read. Tucker91 says even lesbians love D.
Oh, geez.
Star
Keep it-
CK.
all right.
And Bill Dingsman says Minnesota anglers and Minnesota DFL lesbian senators agree that plastics are not as good as the real thing. So
This is what I get.
This is what the
This
comment
is me.
section-
First of all, I got to go buy wings. Okay. Not the biggest deal, but they got to go pick them up. Then I don't get the show prep out of him. Then I get this stuff. Jay, what are you doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays? It's been a pleasure having you in studio. Will you stick around for the post show? We'll do about 15 minutes.
I thought I went over the line saying that Senator Wiesenberg was rebuked in his bill to allow people to eat beer.
You clearly have not gone over the line here today.
we're keeping it cool here. My mom texted me on the way over saying she was going to watch a show today. So I'm
Yeah.
keeping it, kind of PG-13 here.
Okay. Mission accomplished? I don't know. All right. If you're not a subscribing member, and we'll be giving away this Rhino Ron stuff.
And
and tote. Which is
there's a
hilarious.
rumor, though, that there's going to be a Rhino Ron male tampon dispenser coming out.
Oh
Are you
my
going to be
God,
offering those
that's
on the store,
hilarious.
too? Maybe?
One thing that junior high school boys would never do is they would never vandalize school property. I'm sure this includes flushing tampons down the toilets of schools or placing Retire Rhino Ron logos on the tampon dispensers in their bathrooms. Because one thing junior high boys don't do is commit vandalism.
Oh, my God. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Leave it at that, okay? Just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
All right. So if you're not a subscriber, which helps support the show, it's what keeps us on the air, all right? And our 3 great sponsors. So go to Rumble on our channel. Make sure you like and subscribe on the show. But click on join, and for $8 a month, or you can do the annual. I think you save the fee of 1 month. That's what funds the show. It's what keeps us going. And we should have a big story. You know the story I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. I hope we get that story. People are
Yeah.
going to like that story if we get it.
There'll be a couple related stories. So
Well, you know what we'll
perhaps,
do? Here's what we'll do. In the post show, we'll read the Facebook comment by Action for Liberty that kind of got this thing going, and that's why Razzle Dazzle was commenting on it. Couldn't do this without also our great sponsors, Alpine Cabinetry and East St. Cloud, run by a great patriot. Warren Wessel, who's a patriot himself. I've known Warren for over a decade. Not about as long as you, Tuschy. I think you You were probably one of the longest guys I've known in Minnesota politics, other than Andy Parrish, who didn't want to join the show via Zoom today, by the way. He would have, not that you could spice this show up any more than already
Speaking of joining the
spiced
show
up.
via Zoom, Senator Wiesenberg and my father and I will be on a boat here a week from today. We'd be happy to,
Where are you going to be?
in Northeast Wisconsin.
So could you get cell phone reception?
Yeah, we can
let's
zoom
bring
in.
him in.
We can zoom into the show.
We'll bring him in.
Talk about the filings.
Oh, I didn't show you the picture of the blue. Oh, did you see the bluegill?
I did see
Isn't
it,
that
yeah.
good?
Yeah, it was a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna.
And then we asked that alleged wildlife biologist what category is. The DNR did not have bluegill as a record entry.
I believe this wildlife biologist sent us the Minnesota record bluegill. That was.
Well, I don't know where he got it from. It
1984.
wasn't from the DNR website.
I don't know where he got it from either, but he did send it over. So.
Anyhow, my kid caught 11-inch bluegill.
Wow, that's a slab.
Off the dock at the cabin, and
That was off
I was
the
like,
dock.
"Oh, I know it's big," and I was like, "But it's not a state record." So I just cut it up, and
How much did it weigh?
see, I didn't weigh it either.
Oh,
I don't
man.
keep a
It
scale.
wasn't a
I don't
record,
keep
though.
it.
It wasn't a
Worst
record.
I don't keep a
dad
scale on my
ever.
thing.
Worst.
I keep because the ruler is just a little paper thing. So
Yeah.
But I don't keep a scale on my tackle box. I haven't done that since I was 16. But because I don't musky fish. I don't know what. I guess it's for that rare time you actually catch something that's worth. Because walleye are all by inches.
My little brother is
Usually don't keep 'em over
49, and he
15,
still
16.
holds it against my father that he forgot to missed a big 36-inch northern with the net here. 30 years later. So, your kid is going to remember this.
I guess, lesson learned, but here's
that
the
time I
deal.
caught the state record bluegill and Dad chopped it up for dinner.
Here's what happened. And I don't think I think the bluegill was much bigger, but so when you go to the DNR's record site, I don't know why I thought about doing it. I'm just curious how close it is, right?
Right.
They had only two categories in sunfish. It was green sunfish or hybrid sunfish. I'm like, well, what is this, Mr. Wildlife Biologist? And if it was green sunfish,
Right.
the state record was under 11 inches.
Yeah, and it was,
What?
Yeah, green sunfish is a pound, 1 pound 4 ounces. Hybrid sunfish 1 pound 12 ounces.
You got to give inches because I didn't know the poundage.
But bluegill, state record bluegill, it was 2 pounds 13 ounces, way bigger than that.
Yeah, so
Caught in
probably
Hubbard,
16.
Hubbard County in 1984. It's the oldest state record bluegill in the country, with the exception of Alaska.
But Alaska's got bluegill? I didn't even know that.
They have very few. That's why they have the older record of it.
What's the site that you're referencing though?
This was from a confirmed wildlife biologist.
Yeah, but what's
senator.
the website? Oh,
Well,
there's not a link. Oh, there's just a
no.
cap. Okay, gotcha.
So is Junior hooked now? Is he going to be diehard fisherman for life?
Oh yeah. My kids love fishing. Every kid loves fishing.
That's
to be honest
awesome.
with you. But
That's awesome.
yeah. Actually, he outfished everyone.
Good for
right.
him.
Eventually, so he caught a bass on his own, and I had to come down there, and the way he caught it, I had to go out in the weeds. It was pretty funny. And then the next day, or that night, I went and bought, some night crawlers. And, I really wanted to fish. But when you got two kids with night crawlers and there's a sunny bite going on, yeah, there's not room for you to fish anymore. It's me running over, taking that one off, putting another worm on, getting this one off. Bobbers are going left and right. And we started catching these keepers. I'm like, well, guys, sunfish fry is a great thing. So we started keeping these. And then the one, I'm like, that's a good one there, buddy. That's definitely a keeper.
Yeah.
11 inches, yeah.
That's a huge sunfish.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture afterwards.
No, I've never caught a slab that big in Minnesota, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I probably haven't gone specifically for sunfish. Well, I take that back. Yeah, through the ice. I used to fish for bluegill. I came from the sunfish capital of the world, Alaska, Wisconsin. We got a massive bluegill right off of Highway 35.
Right.
Thank you to Warren Wessel. Warren Wessel Realty, 612-419-7453 if you're buying or selling a home. And if you're buying a home, give the good folks at John Galt Mortgage Company a chance of financing that home. At least let them quote on it, right? Good guys, and they think the way that we think. Go to johngaltmortgage.com. You got a comment before we go to the post
Love
show?
Minnesota says 11 inches is nothing to sneeze at.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fish, right? Fish?
Well, she didn't say. She didn't clarify. So
Okay.
very good.
Notice how Jake never told us which lake this dock was off of.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm glad you noticed that. All right. for those that are subscribing or want to subscribe, we're going to start the post show in about 1 minute. Everyone else will be back on Tuesday. Take care.